you doing today, Caitlin?
Doing good.
You doing good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was thinking that we could talk about an accomplishment that you're proud of.
An accomplishment that I'm proud of is, I've worked at a camp for a few years, and I finally worked my way up to activities coordinator this past year. So that was pretty exciting.
What actually is an activities coordinator?
What I got to do is I got to think of the games, I got to run the games, I had my own staff, so I would tell them, hey, you're running Duck Duck Goose this day, and you're running like dodgeball this day, and I got to coordinate and run and think of all activities related things.
What are some of the age groups that you work with?
I worked with 6-year-olds all the way up to high school.
And is there like a different thing that you coordinate games for the age groups, being that it's such a wide variety?
Yeah. Before the summer started, I created a binder and each week had its own set of games and different activities that we would do, because each week was a different grade that we got.
So is it harder for the older kids to be more into what you come up with?
Definitely, it was definitely harder.
So what do you do to compensate for that, to kind of keep their attention?
Well, I definitely made the games harder, so just to challenge them. Some were thinking games, some were more physical running games, so I made it harder for them to do, so that it would be more interesting.
And so are there a variety of games, like physical games, like say tag for the older kids opposed to what's for the younger kids?
Yeah, there's like, we had a bunch of different games, different ones for bigger kids and different ones for little kids.
And so what does the actual whole day entail? I know it's just not games.
Yeah, we have games, we have crafts, we did different skills clubs is what we call them, so they learn a different skill every day, and then other group activities.
So what time does everyone usually get there?
Well, it's a week-long thing, so they come on Sunday night and they stay overnight until Saturday morning.
So is this in, so to speak, like in a controlled environment or an uncontrolled environment?
I would say it's pretty controlled. Yeah.
So are you like out in the open, like at a campsite type of thing, or like you're like in the city at like a rec center or something like that?
It's out up at Victory Bible Camp, which is in Glacier View, so it's in the woods. We stay in cabins, so it's out there, not really in the city. It's about a 2-hour drive away from anything.
Oh, so it's a spiritually based camp?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Are there different denominations that are there, or?
Yeah, we're a non-denominational camp, so we do have different denominations that come up and stay with us. We have all sorts of different groups.
So are there other people like you there, far as that support activities?
I mean, I was the main activities coordinator, but I did
Okay.
have my own staff that helped me out a lot.
Oh, okay, so you have your own staff. You're kind of like the supervisor. So how is that frustrating? Does you ever get frustrated or things like that?
Oh yes, it was very frustrating this past summer. It was hard. A lot of my staff was high schoolers, so it was definitely hard to get them to do what I wanted them to do when I wanted them to do it.
So it was hard for you to get them to stay on task. Oh, okay. And so what, like at nighttime or wind down time, like what are some of the things that you do to kind of get them to calm down after the day?
Well, my staff are the campers.
Both.
Well, for my staff, after a certain time, they're off and they get to go do whatever they want. They know that they have a curfew, so they have to be in bed by then. But the campers, they usually just bond with their counselors. We usually listen to a testimony, and then we just kind of have a free time right before bed, and they also have a curfew.
So is this more like a voluntarily thing, or is it for kids that are kind of hard to deal with?
It's a volunteer thing. There are definitely some kids that are hard to deal with, but not all the kids are like that.
Oh, so it's not like a required thing for children to do, it's just a volunteer thing. Okay. So do you pretty much for the most part enjoy it? It's something that you like doing?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not just a job.
No, it was definitely something that I loved doing.
Okay. So when you say they have counselors there, what does that entail? What does a counselor do?
A camp counselor is basically kind of like the mother or the father of the cabin. They have their own cabin. They sleep with the kids. They teach them Bible stories, and they play games with the kids. They're really there for the connection and to get to know the kids and have them open up.
So if you were to break down your greatest accomplishment, what would you say were some of the trials and tribulation that you had to accomplish your goal?
Well, it took me 4 years to get to activities coordinator. I was a counselor, and so it took me that long to get there, so that was definitely frustrating to wait that long. But it was pretty fast for me because I was probably one of the youngest coordinators there, so that was pretty exciting.
So it took you 4 years to get from entry level to where you're at now. So the level that you're at now, are you trying to get higher than that, or you've accomplished what you wanted to?
I don't think I want to get any higher. I kind of like where I'm at right now.
Oh, okay. So I see you really enjoy it, because you smile when we talk about it. Okay, so can you give me an example of something that might have, if you hadn't overcome it, that might have not made it be your greatest accomplishment?
Can you reword the question?
Okay. In getting to your greatest accomplishment, what was a hurdle that you had to overcome?
Well, I had to prove that I was mature enough to be in that position.
Okay.
So I was only 19 years old, which is really young. Usually their requirement is 21 to be a director of any sort. So that was really hard for me to do, but I did it. So.
Okay. So if you had to do it again, you'd do it all over again, just the way you did it?
Definitely.
Okay, let me make sure that I understand. You started out as a counselor, right? And then you moved up to the activities person, correct? And you don't want to go any higher. You work with children from kindergarten to high school, and you plan activities for them from the youngest to the oldest. And you maintain your staff. You have a staff, and sometimes it's traumatic with you dealing with the staff, but you get through it. Okay, well, thanks for letting me know what your greatest accomplishment was.
You're welcome.
All right.